Hi friends, welcome back to another Rafting Magazine quick lesson, and on this lesson we are going to be talking about your rigging plan. Rigging plans in my mind are really important because it just helps you with training and organization. Now, I got a lot of stuff. First thing I got is a mesh bag, I got this watershed bag, a bunch of paddles, I got a Pelican case, I have a K-pump, and sometimes you take some other stuff with you as well. So all of my stuff, this is pretty much my one-day loadout when I'm just doing one-day fun trips. So where I put all this stuff is going to be really critical for how I set up the boat. First thing we got to do, clear out the boat. Now that we have the boat cleared out, we can start putting stuff in here. And the first really important thing you want to keep in mind is where you're going to be sitting. Now, I typically R2, so this seat and the seat behind me right here, this whole chamber is a space that my body's going to be in. So I don't want anything here. What I want to do is I want to put everything in the other compartments that are away from me. So let's start grabbing some of our stuff and placing it. All right, I've got everything laid out mostly how I want it. Now this is going to be the bow and this is going to be the stern. We want this as the front and to be facing this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our soft goods and we're going to place them over here. Now I've got the K-pump underneath this watershed bag. We do that because if we go flying forward, which is more likely, you're going to hit this soft thing and hopefully you got some clothes in there, and I like to pack some clothes on top just in case I do go flying forward. All of my hard goods are back here. I've got a Pelican case, I got a mesh bag with water bottles, and I have the paddles. So if I do hit something and go flying backwards, likely I'll hit the back of my helmet or I'll hit my PFD. That way it'll give me at least some protection from those hits instead of hitting them with my face. The thing we really want to look at though right now is the paddles. So we're going to hop back there and take a look at that. When we're talking about rigging paddles, there's a few different theories about rigging paddles that are out there in the world. So I just want to share all those with you. The first one is across the thwart. Now, as you can see, I'm in a playboat. It's really small, so I've got paddles sticking out on each side. So we want to follow the clean principle as much as possible, and we don't want to have entrapment or snag points on the boat. So in a boat this small, I'm never going to rig my paddles across the thwart here just because I don't want those snag points. Kind of in a similar way, there's two theories back here. People go blade up or blade down. With the blade up, it actually creates a nice even plane for things to slip off of and not really get too tangled up in. With the T-grip, you do have these T-grips sticking out and they will snag on tree branches and things like that. So we're going to take those and we are going to shove them T-grip down because obviously we don't want anything to get stuck on anything or get tangled up. So the last little thing I like to do is I will take a cam strap, wrap it around here. I got Sawyer paddles here. These are pretty nice, pretty expensive paddles. I don't want to lose them. And if they're just my spares, we definitely want to keep those in there. Now, this does, obviously, having this strapped in, cause some sort of things where the boat could get caught on them. However, you kind of got to balance. Do you need the spare more, or are you worried about it getting hung up? I typically worry about the spare more than I worry about the boat getting hung up. So, next thing, we want to jump into the compartments and see how we're rigging everything else. Like I said with the paddles, we want to make sure everything is strapped down on the boat. We don't want to be losing stuff in the river. First of all, we don't want to be polluting. Second of all, watershed bags, cameras, Pelican cases, all this stuff, super expensive. We don't want to be just dumping that in the river. So just invest a little money in a few cam straps and you're good to go. But one of the things you want to remember when you're putting cam straps on your boat, when you strap your gear down, make sure the buckles are away from the compartments where people are going to be sitting. That way, if anybody reaches over and tries to grab this, something crazy happens, they're not grabbing metal and busting their knuckles, especially if they just fly forward and hit it with their hands. So I hope this quick lesson was helpful. If you have questions, as always, go ahead, drop those in the comments, and we will see you out on the river.